Goodwill yesterday. It's definitely not the color that I would have gone for. It's this like gray striped fabric. I did also go to Target to check out their bed sheets, and they were kind of pricey, which is to be expected. I mean, honestly, this was $15 and there were some bed sheets at Target that were $20, but I don't know. I didn't like any of the prints that Target had. Also, this one is 100% Egyptian cotton, so it sounds really fancy. This is pretty good and I'm pretty happy with this. So we're gonna just try to make it out of bed sheets. I also have some old bed sheets from like just around the house. Let me show you those really quick. These are the options that we could be working with. It's a twin size, so I don't know if there's like enough fabric. This one's really cute. I have 2 pillowcases. I'm still trying to find the other bed sheet for this. This one has like really cute patterns as well. I'm liking this one the most in terms of like pattern. Also, I need to show you my thrift haul because I found some really cute items. This really cute blouse. I mean, there's like multiple great things about this blouse, but it does tie in the back. Second outfit. I don't know how to feel about this. It's definitely a little bit short. The frog knots are not really giving what I want it to give. I don't know what this is. I don't know when I'll ever wear this. This was literally the most unexpected find. Like literally a tailored qipao at Goodwill. I was not expecting to see so much like Chinese clothing at that store. Quite genuinely surprised by. If you watched my last qipao making video, you know that I originally wanted to make my qipao out of this, I don't know, linen shirting fabric, and I wanted it to be like flat or stripes. I placed an order for this fabric. Unfortunately, I don't know where the package is now. It's stuck, lost somewhere, but it was supposed to come like literally 8 days ago. This was one of my original inspo pics. Tell me that this bedsheet doesn't kind of look like that. Obviously this one's so much more pretty, but I mean, my bedsheet is giving similar types of vibes. So we are going to start making some pattern adjustments before we even make the muslin. Pattern adjustments always scare me a little bit, but we are going to face our fears today and just go for it. Basically, I traced out my size onto new pattern paper, and then I measured out, not including the seam allowance, how much the overall width at the bust, waist, and hip was. I took those number and basically subtracted it from the corresponding number on the body measurement chart that exists on the pattern. And that gives me the overall ease that is added, both wearing ease and design ease. From there, I just referenced charts online to subtract the wearing ease from the overall ease to get the design ease. And then that gave me an idea of how much like excess fabric that they added in to create the silhouette and the style that they wanted to have for this particular pattern. So for example, the bust area, I already know that the pattern size is just 2 inches too big for me. So I knew that I would have to take off 2 inches, and the design ease was maybe an inch bigger than what I wanted. So in total, I took off from the bust 3 inches. And then I just repeated that step for the waist and the hip as well. Also, another thing, I took off some length from the, I think it's like the waist to bust area, just because the pattern, it was like an inch too tall for me. McCall's pattern, they do have like helpful lines to help you shorten that or lengthen it, like just guidelines. I thought that was really, really great that they included that. Honestly, the adjustments ended up working pretty nicely. I'm pretty happy with them. Oops. I don't know if I'm gonna do any like fancy binding situation. My primary goal for this was just to figure out the fit adjustment aspect of it and try to get the fit more correct. I do think I want to pinch in the dart maybe like a little bit more. It's hard to pin when it's just you doing it by yourself. I'm just pinning it where the slimmest part of my body is, and then I'll just blend it out from there using the same shape as the original dart. Cutting things out right now in the fabric. So I do take kind of a long time to cut out fabric. I think it's like the thing that genuinely takes me the longest out of everything, which is crazy. I don't know. I think it's just like the fact that I can't go back and I can't fix my mistakes that really makes me feel some type of way. Tell me why this cotton is behaving like a silk. Should not be like that. I know that the more tightly woven a fabric is, the fudgier it is. That's not the right word, but like, you know what I mean. Like the harder it is to handle. There's this weird bubbling that's happening right now. I don't know if you can tell. Like no matter how much I try to like flatten it out on my cutting table, it won't flatten out. I think the new plan is just to match up my grain line and make sure that my straight edges are matched up like exactly to where a stripe would be and there's not like any wibbly wobbliness. So that is what it's going to look like. Once everything is stitched down and folded over, it all matches up. The stripes are going vertical on the body fabric, and then the stripes are going horizontal on the collar area. I really like that. I think that looks really nice. At this point is when I realized I wasn't working with a cotton. It's hard to tell that there's puckering, but the dart felt very tight when I was sewing it, and I knew that something was up, so I took another look at the packaging and noticed the term microfiber, which is 100% synthetic. Just to double check, because the packaging is so confusing, I did a burn test and the edges turned hard and plasticky. Literally all the signs were there, and as someone who sews, I am kind of mad at myself for not knowing that microfiber is 100% synthetic, but I just assumed it was a type of fabric. In my defense, I will say that the amount of greenwashing on this label and mislabeling does make me quite mad. It's not even the fact that it's a synthetic fabric, it's the fact of how misleading the packaging is. I truly do not even know how that is allowed. Anyways, okay, so just the differences between the McCall pattern and the FolkWear pattern that I had used for a previous video. The McCall pattern, it has like a fake placket in the front, and the placket is just a single placket versus the FolkWear pattern, it's a double rounded placket. I have always personally liked the look of a single round placket more than the double round placket. It's just like a personal preference. Another difference is like the double bias binding part of it. If you want to do double bias binding or just bias binding or piping, you can obviously do it and just adjust the pattern. I have made the McCall's pattern with decorative edging. Their sleeves are the same in the sense that like both of them don't have sleeves. It's just like sort of an extended piece from the front and back bodice. When you have that kind of sleeve where it's not a separately cut pattern piece, it does bunch up a little bit at the armpit areas because of just like how naturally it's cut and the excess fabric. I personally like the look of that. I think it looks pretty cute and it's I don't know. I'm just like okay with it. I don't have necessarily a preference between having that type of sleeve and a different type of sleeve. But I know, for example, my mom, when I had made this for her, she really did not like the look of that type of sleeve. Like she wanted something that was a little bit longer and just more like tailored to her arms. I will say that in terms of construction, the McCall's pattern doesn't really take into account like any traditional techniques. I'm less of a fan of like their way of constructing. I think it's more like quick and easy versus the FolkWear pattern. It's more traditional and it feels more tailored. The FolkWear pattern makes you feel like a tailor, you know? It makes you feel like you're making something that is really beautifully constructed. I think both patterns are really great for different reasons. I do really like the silhouette and the cut of the McCall's pattern.